What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Riding Dad channel video, or welcome if it's your very first time on the Riding Dad channel. I have a video right now for you where we're going to talk about whether or not the chain kit I just installed on my last video on this Sportster XL883 Super Low technically, but it's nothing resembles a Super Low anymore on here. Anyway, let's roll the intro and then we'll get to talking about the chain kit.
Riding down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a thing you found.
Alright, so first and foremost, I hope all you guys had a very good and happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a lot of food and enjoyed it with your friends and family and everybody like that. Mostly family. I don't know why I said friends first. Either way, hope you have a good Thanksgiving, and then obviously a whole good holiday season. This is my favorite time of year ever since Thanksgiving hits. I love Christmas and everything. So, here we go. This chain kit on this Sportster. So first and foremost, I want to talk about all the cons that people always talk about when they talk about chain kits, because if you go on the forums and the interwebs, you'll hear a bunch of people say, oh my god, chains are so, why would you put a chain on a Harley? We've come so far, the manufacturer knows best, Screaming Eagle this and Screaming Eagle that, belts are the greatest things, they don't require maintenance. And okay, yeah, they don't require maintenance, but let's talk about the other cons, and then we'll talk about the pros real quick. So a lot of people say that there's a lot of sling and runoff from all of your like lubrications, waxes, and everything on chains that get all over your bike, and then possibly you or your passenger, depending on what your bike setup is. That's one thing that people talk about. Let me tell you that simply is not true. Today's modern products that are in the year of 2022 and you know, future, the products just are just too good. And previously I had been using one that I was mediumly happy with, but it was not even nearly on the same caliber as the one I'm using right now. So right now I use Muck Off, the degreaser, to spray and clean the chain and get all the crap off of it, and then I use Maxima spray chain wax. With that combo, it comes off super easy. Half the time you don't even have to scrub it to get like a lot of gunk off of it. It just disintegrates old caked on wax and stuff like that really well, the Muck Off does. And then in addition to that, the actual Maxima chain wax is awesome. I've never had any sling or runoff or anything like that from it at all. Now this is my second bike using that. I know my buddy uses it, and to my knowledge, he doesn't have any complaints about it. It's just a good modern day product. The second thing is people say that you have to re-wax them and clean them every time you ride. That's simply not true. You should re-wax them. I would say a good rule of thumb is every 500 to 600-ish miles. However, I know a buddy of mine that he actually used to have a YouTube channel. I wish he would have it again. But he installed the chain kit almost the exact same week I installed my chain kit on my Lowrider S. And that was about 2.5 years ago. Last tail of the dragon trip we had was the first time he cleaned and waxed it at all. It was actually making a squeaking noise. Now, is that a good practice for chains? No, obviously not. But it worked fine for him. The chain, to my, like, just looking at it, I couldn't see any signs of wear on the chain or the sprocket or anything like that. So you don't have to clean it every time you ride it. You don't have to clean it every time it rains. Is it more maintenance than a... Actually, I didn't want to go... we can go around. Is it more maintenance than a belt? Yes, of course it's more maintenance than a belt. Belts essentially are nothing, you know, besides your tension. Let's talk about the pros, because that's why I switched to a chain. And that's going to dive right into what I like about this chain kit right now, that you definitely feel it. Let's pop a little bit. Oh yeah, this chain kit's awesome, guys. This chain kit is definitely a good buy. But okay, so pros. We're talking about pros with chains. 1, way easier to change your sprocket size. 2, easier to fix on the side of the road, or really fix in general. With the belt, you have to... Sportster's a little bit different, but with the belt, at least on the soft tails and touring bikes, you have to drop the entire swing arm to replace a belt. So it's just easier to fix. We'll pull off here real quick so I don't lose my train of thought, and then we can go talk about the bike. So yeah, it's way easier to fix on the side of the road. Like if you were ever going anywhere or whatever. Every time I go on a out of town trip, I always take a spare chain. Your sprocket's easier. You have better felt torque because you don't have that pushing and pulling of the belt and the stretch. And then you just have, in general, a more direct power feel with the chain. Plus, it looks pretty sweet. That's definitely a huge plus. The other plus, if you're making really high horsepower, I know belts are pretty good for a decent amount of horsepower, but if you're making pretty high horsepower, nowadays, modern day X-ring and O-ring chains are definitely the way to go. They just hold up to the power a lot better, and there's signs of wearing before necessarily the belt just kind of shears and stuff. If you do a lot of off-roading, like what this Sportster is going to eventually be, like more of an off-roady cafe style dual sport bike almost, chain is definitely better for off-roading. That's why you never see a belt-driven ADV bike or anything like that. And if there is one right now, I'm sure somebody out there is going to correct me, but it's obviously not that common at all. Chain is pretty much always the way to go for that kind of stuff. So now we talked about that, and I cleared all you naysayers up on the chains. This bike, how do I feel about it on this bike? So now let's go for a little bit of a ride, and we'll talk about how I feel about it on this bike. So before, you could drop the clutch on this puppy with decent high RPMs. It's an Evo engine, and it would just kind of bog down a little bit. It would go, but it would not lift the front tire at all. Nowadays, you barely have to rev it up at all and pop the clutch, and it's gone. And again, this is the stock clutch, everything like that, stock everything else besides the sprocket. For those of you who did not watch my old video, I upgraded, well, some of you may not think it's an upgrade, but I upsized the rear sprocket from a stock configuration, which would have been a 53, to a 58. So we're looking at 5 extra teeth in the rear, which upping your rear sprocket size or lowering your front sprocket size gives you more improved torque feel and less, kind of top end. And you definitely notice it with this. I mean, it definitely has a lot more pep in it than it did before. So much so that if you guys are following along with this build, you would know that I was debating on doing a big bore kit, just kind of thinking about which big bore kit I wanted to do, kind of. Now with this chain kit on here, I don't even want to do a big bore kit because to me it's just not worth the money. I'd rather save up and get a third bike at some point, or maybe get a bike for the wife if she, gets her class and stuff anytime soon. So, or just spend it on fun trips and stuff like that. But this bike, the characteristics have completely changed. I mean, you're talking about all-inclusive kit for under $500 to make your bike feel almost like it has a big bore kit in it. Now, I know somebody out there is going to be like, well, yeah, but a big bore kit is way... Yes, obviously a big bore kit is way different. You're changing the displacement of the bike. I'm not an idiot. I know that. But I will say, as far as torque felt down low, this is a really good return on your investment, or ROI, as my stock market folks would like to say. Let's rip it a little bit through this area. Can't go too fast because it is... I guess it's, I don't know what to call it. It's just like a back road kind of, but really feel the torque. And again, guys, the chain kit just completely changes the characteristics of the bike. I mean, I can't recommend chain kits enough for Harleys. But especially if you have like an 883, or I would say probably even a 1200 Sportster that doesn't struggle, but obviously doesn't feel quite up to the same caliber as like a 114 or a 107 or something like that. Excuse me, had a little bit of a hiccup there. Chain kits are the way to go, people. Belts are for pants. I've been saying it for years. Belts are for pants, and especially with the Sportsters, your chain kits are so much cheaper. You don't have to worry about replacing gaskets. I mean, it's just a no-brainer, guys. If you have a Sportster with a belt, what are you doing with your life? Get a chain kit, yo. They're the best. Let's feel a little bit more of this torque here. Guys, it doesn't necessarily want to pop the wheel up when you're doing just kind of like a power wheelie, but it's really darn close. And I feel like if I was leaning back just the right amount, these handlebars, the way my setup is, it's more of a forward-leaning stance. I feel like if I was leaning back a little bit more and I hit the power band better, maybe a little bit higher in the RPMs than I just was, I feel like it would probably pop the wheel up an inch. Enough to do like a power wheelie? No, definitely not. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But it would definitely just pop it up a little bit. But like I said, chain kit, 100% yes. I'm very happy with this chain kit specifically from Sprocket Center. It's my first time using Sprocket Center. I've always heard about them. My understanding was that they used to be more of a sport bike world, and now that the Harley chain scene is getting more popular and stuff like that, I think that's what finally made them branch out. I don't even know if Sprocket Center had kits for my Softail when I did the chain kit on my Softail. And honestly, I don't even know if they have them right now. So many people have chain kits. For me, Sprocket Center was just the one that offered the exact style and everything that I wanted. You guys know that I definitely wanted to do a steel front and rear sprocket on this setup instead of just a steel front and an aluminum rear like is on my Softail. And that's mostly because this bike is going to be ridden hard and put away wet, and I am not going to take nearly as good care of it as I am of the Softail. It's in the garage, the Lowrider S. Don't you go, lady, in your Nissan Murano. Okay, they waved to me. They're probably a biker. All right. But anyway, that's about it for this. I think I've done enough talking. I think I've done enough convincing you that chain kits are the way to go. Belts are indeed for pants. And thank you guys for watching very much. Make sure you check out all the links and the playlist and everything that's in the description of this video. Head on over to Tucker Speed, get yourself some discount codes. Depending on when you're watching this, their Black Friday sale might still be going on. Their Black Friday sale is insane. I wish I had some extra cash laying around to take advantage of the Black Friday sale, but unfortunately I do not. I spent it on some early Christmas presents for the wifey, but it's okay. I got a lot of what I need anyway, and I just got a really cool box in the garage a few days ago that I'm actually going to dive into today and tomorrow for the Lowrider S. So for those of you missing Softail, what's the word? Why can't I think of any words lately? I think I have an aneurysm. Softail content. For those of you missing Softail content, it is coming in the next video or two. After this video, I have my long-term review of the Ruroc Atlas 4.0 coming up. This Arai Corsair X is pretty much officially retired. This was just a very quick on-bike video that I wanted to film, and this is the only helmet that I've tested, the speaker quality in, and I know the settings to put on my Tascam, which is why I used it for today. God, I really do miss the feel of this helmet, though. It's just so nice and comfortable, and it just feels like home. But yeah, you guys can look forward to a couple different helmet reviews coming up, so hopefully I can help you guys out. Debating on doing a Christmas kind of present guide by this year. Sometimes, well, actually I think I've done it every year in the past, I think 3 years now, but debating on doing it, debating on not doing it. I don't know. I feel like I've kind of covered everything. I don't really think there's much new that I would put on that list, so I don't know. I'll go over it, but enough blabbing from me, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have a good holiday season. Stay safe. Enjoy your bikes. Subscribe to the Riding Dad YouTube channel. Definitely hit the thumbs up on this video. Go get yourself a chain kit. And until the next time, guys, ride safe, have fun. Dad out.